I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm glad to be back in the routine. I'm trying to leapfrog Ellen's flock meetings with the vendors, so every other week seems to be working pretty well. So welcome, Kat here. And I want to thank Danielle so much for doing this. I'm so excited to talk to you, mostly, of course, because you have fins, but I just really want to know about what you're doing and about your farm and all that. So how about if we start and just do a little introduction, tell us briefly about your farm, and then we're going to talk about the specifics.
Well, primarily we are a hay farm. We go over about 300 acres.
Wow.
And it's mainly a grass hay that we do. And we typically only get 2 cuttings a year.
Okay.
If we're lucky, we can get a third at the end of September, October. But typically it's only 2. We can produce anywhere from 20 to 30,000 small square bales a year.
Wow.
And I market to the horse people.
Okay, I was going to ask who your market was.
Yep, it's mainly to horse people.
Okay.
We also do round bales. So we have our small square business, and then we've also got a pretty good round bale business.
Okay.
I make my round bales right around 600 pounds. My square bales average 50 pounds a piece. And then we bundle them. We put them in a bundle that's 7 bales long and 3 bales tall, and it's banded with metal bands, and comes out of machine, and we get to stab it with spears with the tractor.
I love that. We're buying in bundles this year, and we can't get big machinery into our barn.
Yep.
So we've had big bales, but little bales work for us.
Yep.
In larger quantities. So that's awesome. Wow. So are you irrigating?
No. Michigan typically does not irrigate. We normally in the past have had enough rain. And in fact, we've had so much rain that it's hard to get stuff dry enough, or in a timely manner, I should say. We have
to harvest.
Yes.
Okay.
We have the appropriate equipment we cut ted, which is fluff the hay out of the windrow, and it looks like it's carpet of cut hay.
Okay.
And then we rake it into rows again, and then we bale it. But sometimes it takes 2 to 3 extra tedding out, fluffing, to get the hay to dry properly.
Okay. Like recently because of the rain?
Well, actually in the past couple of years, we've had it, we've actually made 24-hour hay because it's been so dry. We're actually in a drought.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Last year, I was down 50% of my yield because of it. So.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. I was able to fit most everything in the one barn.
Wow.
So
okay.
I should be storing my round bales outside, not inside.
Oh, got it. Yeah, because they take up a lot of room, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have some animals.
Yep. We have sheep, chickens, cats, dogs. Nothing else at the moment.
So tell us about the sheep. I know that you have fin sheep. That's part of the reason I asked you.
Yep.
But you have other breeds as well.
I have a couple other breeds. I traded some hay last year for some Katydid ewes, and they are a hair breed. Mm-hmm. They're a hair sheep, so they're used primarily for meat.
Okay.
So I bred them with my main fin ram, and oh my God, the lambs are so cute. They're just absolutely adorable. But they will be strictly for meat.
Okay. I was going to ask what the fiber would be like, but it sounds like it doesn't.
They've actually got a mix of hair and wool.
Okay.
So, and then I also have Polypay. I
Okay.
have a Polypay ram.
Those
So,
are big, right?
they're not too big.
Okay.
They're bigger than the fins, but they're not as big as a merino or a targy.
Okay. Okay. And then the fins.
Yes, they are my first love.
Yes.
Um, when we got okay, the story of how I get into sheep. Um, my husband took me with him horseshoeing, and the client had a spinning wheel, and she goes, "You want to come and see?" I knew she had it because I've been there before. She has sheep, and she goes, "Come on, I'll take you up and you can spin on it for a moment." It took me less than 5 minutes to get hooked.
Wow.
And all I knew how to do was knit and somewhat crochet before that.
Okay.
I looked for actually, one of the local yarn stores gave spinning lessons, and I took that. I had a spinning wheel. Let's see, that was in October that I took the spinning lesson. By January, I had a spinning wheel. By probably mid-February, I was emailing around for sheep and asking everyone that had experience with sheep and fiber what their opinion was. I had it narrowed down to Icelandics, Shetlands, and the Finns.
Oh, see, and
Um,
those were my top three this
yep,
time around too. Isn't that
yep.
interesting?
Um, I chose the Finns mainly because they were pulled. They didn't have the horns,
Right.
and they didn't have the double coated. And I know Shetlands can come without the double coat,
Right.
but um and then the fact that they're friendly, it was another big selling point.
Yeah.
So um so we put a deposit down on a starter flock out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My husband and I, we went over to in July. Yeah, in July, we went to Pennsylvania, and the farm was only about an hour north of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I gotta go grab the box of Kleenex. Just a moment. Um, so we went to Philadelphia for our 15th wedding anniversary. And on our way, we went to the farm. We dropped the stock trailer off there and said hi and met the sheep. And then we went and celebrated our anniversary in Philadelphia for a few days. Came back and bought the sheep. And there was 5 ewes and 2 rams.
Okay.
So brought them home, and here we are.
So was there something about the fiber also that you chose fins, or was it specifically around?
To be honest, I had never felt thin until I uh, bought them.
Okay.
So I went on the advice of the gal who taught me the spinning lesson,
Did she
and
have fins?
she had had a couple of fins,
Okay.
and she said that their fiber is very nice. I did my research. I have the Deb Robeson fin, or not fin book, but the
Lacy fiber.
encyclopedia.
Yep.
Yeah. And I read through everything, and it just was between the 3 breeds, Finn was the one that I wanted to go with.
Right. So do you cross those fins, or are they specifically?
I have both. I have
Okay.
purebreds and I cross them. The Polypay that I have, I only have the 1 ram, so he got crossed on last year's yearling Finn ewes. And of course my Finn ram bred the Katydid ewes. So it actually works out fairly well.
So have you spun that Polypay fin cross yet?
Trying to think.
I'm curious.
No, because up until this point, I never had any babies survive or the ewes didn't take.
Okay.
So, and I've only had, this is my second ram, and the first bunch, I think I sold those babies. And then, yeah, so this is my first grouping with the crosses.
Okay.
But the polypay itself is actually kind of nice.
So what's polypay?
So
I don't know what polypay is like.
the breed itself is it was developed up in Idaho at the research station, and
Okay.
it is a cross of Rambouillet, Dorset, Finn, and Targhee.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
And they actually have very nice fiber.
So squishy.
No, not really squishy. It's kind of a cross between the Rambouillet and that Targhee. It's got some bounce,
Okay.
but yet it's hard to explain
Okay.
because it's definitely a cross, but it's now become its own breed. So
Right.
it's durable.
Okay. So
So
medium wool?
yes, definitely a medium wool.
Okay. More
The fin wool itself is softer.
Okay, I was gonna ask if it was more medium or less medium than Finn.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. I love the idea of, I mean, I blend crazy stuff, but I love the idea of blending at the source.
Yes.
You know, I think it's really fascinating, and lots of our breeds came to us that way anyway. So
Yes.
you know,
Well, the Targhee is another combined breed.
right?
So I can't remember. I think that's Rambouillet and something else. But it was Targhee was done at the Idaho Research Station too, and Anne would be a good one to talk about with both of those breeds since she has them both.
Okay. Huh. So tell us what you're doing with your fiber.
Well, let's see. I was gonna start doing the fiber festivals, and I was pregnant. I was 7.5 months pregnant, was going to do a fiber festival here in Northern Michigan. And lo and behold, he came 6 weeks early. So Zig came the Wednesday before I was supposed to go up to the fiber festival. So we spent the next couple of weeks in the NICU. The next time I was able to get a chance to do any kind of festival was in 2016.
Okay.
It was the same festival that I was gonna do, but this time it was Zig and I at the festival. Set up just a little 10 by 10 booth with my I'm trying to think, did I have roving and comb top? I believe I had both. I had that and I spun a little bit, and then I had some Romney that I had bought off of a girl before the fins came. I was waiting on the fins, so I bought some Romney to practice dyeing with.
Okay.
So I had that in the booth. It dyed, and that was about that. I had a very small booth. Going from what I started to where I'm at now is so different because we've gone upwards to big, to a 10 by 20 booth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right now, because of what's going on, I don't do the in-person, but it will happen again. And I don't know if I'll go right back to the 10 by 20 or if I'll start off with a 10 by 10 again.
That's a big booth to fill.
10 by 20? Well, I was dyeing wholesale yarn too. I would buy in the merino and the sock yarn and all that. So I had a very colorful booth.
Got it.
And when my mother-in-law was still alive, she made project bags. And so I was selling those for her too.
Oh, awesome. So a great way to fill the booth.
Yes.
All right. So, so for folks who haven't been to your WAFA sale, tell us a little bit about what you're selling now.
I have mainly natural colors. I've got our rustic spun yarn, and it's basically a woolen spun instead of the typical worsted.
Okay.
I had the mill spin it from the roving form instead of combing it first.
Oh, okay.
So it's got your neps and noils, and it looks like a hand spun.
Oh, I love that.
So I love it. It's got a lot of loft to it. I'm making a couple of hats out of some of it, and it's just gorgeous. And then it's cut. Let's see, I've got 5 different colors. I ended up when my mother-in-law was in the hospital, I ended up getting some free alpaca blankets. So
Okay.
I put the black in with the black fin and the brown in with the brown fin. So I've got those 2 sets, and I've got that in both the DK and the fingering. And then I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3 colors of natural fin. There's the oatmeal that I have, and then I've got 2 different shades of a charcoal.
Okay.
Basically it's black with silvering. So
Right. Because they
and
have every color of the rainbow.
you can, yes. Yep. So
Nice.
uh,
Have you dyed the fin fiber?
yes, and it takes dye very well. It's somewhat muted, and I think that's only because it's not super washed. And that's one thing that I noticed when I was dyeing the merino is the superwash almost super absorbs compared to the non-superwash.
Interesting.
So, but Finn dyes up very, very well. I have dyed a lot of the comb top that I've done over the years.
Okay.
And I've sold quite a bit of that. And it looks really good.
I haven't tried yet. I'm processing this month to dye some.
Yep.
So we'll see. And things, dye differently with botanicals. So it's an
Oh,
adventure.
yes.
It's
Yep. At one point I was actually wholesaling some of my white fleeces, actually most of the white fleeces, up to another yarn dyer. She's doing the farm to take basically farm to needle style.
okay.
And she goes to the farms and gets the wool, takes it to a mill that she wants. She's actually working with probably 5 or 6 different mills. And she's got, mine was the first that she did. It was her first pet project. Now I think she's got 5 or 6 wool different breeds that she's going for. She would mix the white with some white alpaca. It was a 70-30 mix. And she sold it. She's waiting on more. But she sells it very well.
Okay.
And her dyeing, it comes up just vibrant.
Huh.
So, but she does more the solid colors. When I dye, I do more of the variegated and speckled and that kind of thing.
Interesting. Huh. All right. So anything else? So hay is the big thing going on
Yes,
on the
that's where
farm.
we make that's where we make our money.
Okay. So how many sheep are you running right now?
I was expecting 22 ewes to lamb. 4 of them did not. I have 28 lambs running around.
Oh, okay. So plenty.
Yes. And then I ended up not really selling any from last year. So I've got those wethers in with the 3 breeding rams. So I've got 10 of those too.
Weathers are nice. Their fiber's so consistent,
Yes.
because all I have to do is eat and grow.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. All right. So, anything else that you want to share with us about the things that you're doing?
We're starting to ramp up and get into the hay season.
Okay.
That's the reason I've stopped the live demos on Wednesdays.
Right.
It just gets too hard to sit and do any kind of scheduled thing. Especially in 7 p.m. is the middle of the day still here on a farm. So I will be doing random lives, probably from the hayfield. You get
Okay.
to see, you'll probably be able to see me cut hay, round bale, lift the bundles up with the tractor and load trailers and put them in the barn, that kind of thing. So I'll bring you guys along.
Awesome. I would love that. So usually I ask where you're going to be, but it sounds like you're not doing in-person shows right now.
No, I'm not doing in-person shows. I will start back up with WAFA in October, hopefully.
Okay.
We will go from there. The other thing that I got to start this year, because I've been watching too many gals on TikTok and Instagram making just these gorgeous earrings. And so I started the polymer clay.
Yeah, right. Because you've been doing the demo series, right?
Yep,
On
the
tools?
lives.
Yeah.
And then I got into gemstones, the rocks and minerals. So I've been doing stitch markers with those. And I plan on continuing to do that here during the summer because I can keep that more so in the room and do it after the boys go to bed kind of
Sure.
thing. So um yeah, and the boys like playing with the clay too. So it
Yeah.
makes it nice.
Nice. So since folks can't find you at an
They can
in-person
find me.
show, where can they
Yep,
find you?
they can find me on Facebook,
Okay.
either my personal page or the farm page. I share everything from the farm onto the personal page. So Iron Wheel Farms LLC on Facebook, and then I'm Iron Wheel Farms _3193 on Instagram. And
Okay.
then I also do TikTok under
Okay.
the Iron Wheel Farms.
Do,
So any type of videos or lives also get added there and everything.
do you have a website?
I do not. I
Okay.
have not been able. I started one when we first started with the sheep, but it became overwhelming and trying to keep it up with the farm. It yeah,
It's
it's
another
just
full-time
it's
job.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
You just started one.
Oh, my website?
Yeah.
I rebuilt the website. Yeah. Yeah.
So just how much hard work those are.
It's a lot. And it's a lot to
Yeah.
keep it up to date. And
I
social
used to
media
have an
is a whole
Etsy
nother job.
store. Yeah.
Mhm.
I used to do an Etsy store, but again, that's a lot of work to try and get the pictures good enough and create the description. So I will more than likely just continue to sell off of the Facebook. Probably do even some private live sales
Okay. That's
via
what I
the
was going to
Facebook.
ask. If people were
Yep.
interested in like those stitch markers or
Oh, they just
things.
need to ask. Yep.
Okay.
Send me a message. If you see anything in any of the pictures that I post, just message me and I'm more than willing to get you hooked up.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right. So we're going to open up questions now and we'll see if anybody has anything. for you. So if you have questions, unmute and we'll go for it. Oh, it's a quiet group this evening.
Are they normally this quiet?
Well, it's later.
Yep.
And it's not light outside everywhere like it is here. So,
Well, you can still see outside here.
yeah.
It's actually getting 9 o'clock. It's about 9:30. It's starting to get dark.
All right. All right. Well, maybe no questions tonight.
Maybe I answered everything.
I think that you did. You did a good job. All right. Well, my hope as always is to get these things. It's been crazy around here. And my hope is to have some time soon to get things up on YouTube.
Okay.
Maybe not immediately. We have a graduation this weekend, college graduation this weekend, which is kind
Yep.
of but soon. And otherwise they can contact you through your Facebook page if they're looking for things.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you everyone so much for being here this evening. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Sounds good. Bye.